And good day, good Friday, TGIF, my dear friends. Thank you for joining me again, whoever's here. I know my boy Donald, my boy Henry are probably going to be checking in just a second. Today we're going to continue to give you the dose of the red pill, the truth, the way the system works, and how to make money with binary options. So, let's take a look. All right, those who have been with me this week, or those who might have been watching and maybe are in this video today, know that we've made about $400 let's take a look at the calendar for this week. Right, there we go. So on Wednesday, we made about $400 with the federal funds rate. The video was a little bit later than usually. And yesterday we made about $700 with the GBP official bank rate. And in approximately 8 minutes from now, a little bit less than 8 minutes from now, we're going to have Canadian retail sales. Now, here's the thing. We had retail sales from United States, right? On Tuesday, we also did a video about this. I think we made a little bit of money, like a couple of dozens of dollars. The thing is that this is the third most popular macro statistic of the month, and well, for Canada, I wouldn't really say that this is something that is going to move the market somewhere drastically, right? We're not really going to see the PIP movement, for example. Wait, what was yesterday? What did we do yesterday? For 2 o'clock, it was GBP. There was nothing with the United States, right? But you know what? Wait, it's not really a long time to cross over yesterday into 9 p.m. There it is, right? So when we're talking about the most important event, if we take a look at PIP value, 1496, and it went to 1528. So 96, right? To make 1496 into 15, it's 4 pips. Right, so 4 pips plus 28 pips, essentially 32 pip movement, right? So it doesn't look like really a lot, but there's actually, relatively decent pip movement, right? If we're comparing, for example, today we had GBP retail sales. Oh, there we go. Let's take a very quick look at the GBP. One second, GBP. Right, let's go GBP USD, and let's take a look at 9 in the morning, right, where we are. Oh, past it. All right. There it is, right? It actually opened with the gap, right? Wasn't really good news for the GBP. Retail sales, right? Negative 2.7. Actually, it seems like a big difference. Um, yeah, it actually is a big difference. Look, even though you see, when we're talking about biggest moves, we're talking about almost 1 point, right? So, or a couple of tenths of a point, right? Almost 1.3 right here, right? It was, negative 6. Actually, this was big. Oh, yeah, I guess 2% is maybe not really that much, but it is on the top side. And look, we've created it created a pip movement. It opened with the gap, but it opened at, let's say, 3494, and the lowest point was about 3481. So 13 pips, right? 13 pips. That's why today I'm not really going to do any pending trades by the asset price, because usually we put like 4 pips into each direction. So we would have created a channel somewhere here and somewhere here. And this kind of thing is just too close. It's too close to be, maybe something like a sure thing. If we're talking about 32 pip movement, right, then that's, seems like a little bit more amiable, a little bit more proper. So today we're once again, I kind of talked to Henry and Donald about this as well. I talked to them about if I could give you like 100% guarantee that one time per month you're going to win a trade. It's a hypothetical situation. Obviously, there's no such thing. But what if that was the case? Would you trade any other day? You see, for some reason, people, when they think binary options, they still think that, I need to be in front of a computer for a couple of hours. I've proven to you over the past couple of weeks that, well, you could do it in like 15, 20 minutes if you trade every single minute. find the trend, trade with the trend, 15 minutes. At the end of every position, at the end of every candle, position is closed. Whatever statistic is there, right? You're getting essentially a reaction. But in technical analysis now, I keep saying that often enough, there's never such a thing as a guarantee. I mean, we have indicators like 4, right? I mean, what do we have? We talked about the accelerator oscillator, we talked about shaft, we have super trend, we got parabolic, we got, fractal. And in technical analysis, right, I don't know if we can find one of these moments. See, right there was a beautiful, moment for a buy position, right? But it spiked up, and even though everything says buy, we got growing bars, we got shaft saying reverse, that's it, the trend, the negative trend right here is done. We could have had like a, maybe a breakout strategy over here if we kind of put this resistance level here. But we can see that there was a spike, and afterwards there was a retracement for 2 minutes, right? So, I keep telling this, but when we're talking about economic calendar like Forex Factory or investing.com or I don't know what else, wallstreetjournal.com, I think they have a economic calendar. There's many of them out there. This is fundamental reason why everybody is going to jump on their computers or phones and buy, right? Open positions with Forex into, to a buy position or a sell going long or short, right? Call, put, well, however way you want to. There's many ways you can, mention that. But point is that this is not really open too much to subjectivity, right? So statistically speaking, I can tell you that if you mark every single trade that you do, and throughout the month you follow me and the economic projections of many countries, you're actually going to be surprised. I did this once. This was actually a couple of years ago. And I've done it. God, this was actually a really long time ago. It was like 5 years ago, in like 2017 or 18. I remember one specific week where I talked about it very often. I remember the numbers. I had 89 trades throughout the week because I was, talking a lot. I was working for a broker and I was talking to a lot of clients. And, between the calls, I would open positions based on technical analysis. But I also, it was 89 of them. And when I did the macro statistics, I had 11 trades. Now, out of 89, I think I had like 50 something, 53 or something like that in the money, so I was better than 50-50 with Topper Martingale. I made money. But out of those 11, I was 9 in profit. Which again makes you kind of wonder is that, maybe I shouldn't trade as often, but maybe I should trade with bigger amounts. Versus, maybe I should trade, so it's kind of like open to subjectivity a little bit. Now, all right, so we got, there we go, less than a minute. We got Canadian something, Canadian retail sales. So let's quickly, because once again, I kind of chatted a little bit too much. All right, let's see. We got the highest paid, we got AUD CAD. All right, so AUD CAD in 40 seconds. Now, as I mentioned, wait, what was my last trade? I guess I won, right? Or no, I didn't win here, but I didn't really lose either. All right, so let's start with like a $20, because the thing is that I don't expect to be a massive movement in the market right now. So we got 20 seconds left. Now, beautiful thing about this, is that once again, there's no need for technical analysis because we understand that there's going to be an impulse and there's going to be a retracement. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Is there going to be a move? Let's see. But well, the kind of volatility. I don't know. Maybe it's not even going to do anything. All right. I don't see anything. I don't see anything important. Volatile wise in terms of maybe to do something with this or not. We had something earlier, right, about, we're going to take a look at the economic calendar to see if maybe there was something for Australia or Canada at 14:45, but it doesn't seem like it's going to, create any volatility. All right, so yeah, all right, so this was a dud. All right, even though it was a bad news, right, we got core retail sales and retail sales monthly statistic. It was projection was worse than forecast. Forecast was much better. Projection, the actual came out a little bit worse. Here was zero point 0.4, came out of 0.3, so a little bit worse. So it's not really good for Canada. So when we take a look here, we see that, yeah, AUD would go up. But as I mentioned, I mean, look, goddamn. I mean, let's see, 88.95, and the highest is 88.98. So it's a 3 pip movement right here. So this is actually a really good lesson. Um, 1 second. So the good lesson is, hmm. One more time. 1 second. Trying to. My team is writing me something here. No, everything is good. All right. So the interesting part is when we go here, we see that it was a medium impact event, right? And that's why when we go to any Forex calendar, you don't have to go to, forexfactory.com. I do it because it's kind of user friendly. But anyways, if you, select, maybe deselect the gray and the yellow, the low and like really low impact events, sometimes you really, you're still not going to get that big 20, 30, 40 pip movement, even though it's marked as, high or medium impact. So anyways, coming back to that idea that on a monthly basis, right, we are able to, and let's take a look at actually a monthly basis. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going to be available. Hmm. All right. But it should. Okay. So let's go over this one once more. All right. One moment. Let me see what I can do here. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look. Okay. So for next week. All right. So today is the 20. What do we got? The 19th or 20th, right? Yeah, 20th. So this Friday, right? We kind of deselected medium impact events. Though they are actually something that's worthwhile keeping an eye on. But the it's still something worth keeping an eye on because if the statistics are shockingly good or bad, yeah, we are going to be able to see, certain moves. But for next week, all right, so let's see. Non-farm this month wasn't really, good. I think it was like 30 pips, which was, kind of lackluster. But we also had like really good move from the CPI, right? We made some good money here. Thursday PMIs, right? Actually, we can take a look at that as well. No, wait a second. Was I looking at the wrong, okay, wait a second. Don't tell me I was looking at the wrong currency pair and I missed today CAD Retail. Oh, no, okay, wait a second. I'm looking at the euro dollar. All right, no, I think I was looking at the right thing, but let me just check again. What if I made a goof? CAD JPY. Let's take, CAD JPY. 1530. No, it didn't really do anything. Canadian, alright, so it's bad news. But on the following minute, wow, actually, maybe it's a late response or something. Now, what do you guys think? Maybe I should, should we open a retrace? Let's open a retracement position here, though. I think that's, no, so spike, retracement, continuation, but that is weird because, I mean, the news that could have sparked the bad news for Canada was actually released about, right here on this candle with CAD JPY. Let's take a look at another Canadian CAD, GBP CAD. Let's take a look what we got here. All right, so a little bit different stat, a little bit different. All right, still there it is right at, all right, so a spike, retracement, as I mentioned, not really something, it's bigger than the previous candles, but as I mentioned, it's still like 4 or 5 pips. All right, anyways, So we're continuing to take a look. All right, so we got retail sales that was bad. Okay, next week, let's take a look at next week. Next week, definitely, I'm going to be with you guys right about here. We're going to look at European French manufacturing and services PMI. We're going to look at German manufacturing services PMI at the same time. And maybe we'll even touch base with European, even though it's medium impact event, because it's Europe as a whole, right? In Europe, there are countries that are very strong, economically speaking, like Germany, France, but we also have certain countries like, I don't know, like Greece, who are not doing very good. So that's why they're diluting the data. And so at 11:30, right, maybe we're actually going to stick for a couple, right? So we're going to start with like a 10:05. We're going to hit up this one. We're going to hit up this one. We're going to do some technical trading, technical analysis trading. We're going to hit up, the European, but I doubt that there's going to be a lot of, and probably going to finish somewhere around here with GBP, with British Manufacturing Services PMI. But also something that you would be able to do is you would be able to wait and use what we've shown here for United States manufacturing PMIs. All right, so yeah, Monday's jam-packed full of good stuff. All right, Tuesday, what do we got? Tuesday, we got, CPI, Canadian CPI. Remember that Canada exports a lot of goods to United States, and um, that's something that impacts their currency. All right. Oh, we got Krishna. Krishna is in the house. Krishna, thank you for joining us. Finally, we're getting more people than just Henry and Donald. It's an excellent thing. Krishna, if you have any kind of questions about the topic at hand, what we're discussing here, you're more than welcome to ask. And you guys remember that there's Telegram channel posted at the bottom of this. You guys are always, welcome to ask me something one-on-one if you're not quite comfortable asking it here in the chat, where everybody else can see it. All right, so coming back Tuesday, we're going to be doing CPI for Canada. This is probably one of the most important things. What moves the market is spending spending money, right? So, I'm sorry, what moves the economy is spending money. So if people inside the country are spending money, the economy is going to grow, right? At that point, inflation is going to grow. At that point, the central bank is going to raise interest rates. And that's going to be really good thing because it's going to constrict the economy a little bit from inside, but it's going to attract foreign investing, right? So I've mentioned that in previous videos as well. Let's see. Red block means high impact. Yes, yes, my dear man. Krishna, yeah, right here you got filter, and you are able to deselect, right? For example, for me, I live in Cyprus right now. It's a GMT plus 3 time. So for me, Australian statistic is just it's like 8 hours back. And if let's see, anyway, there we go. 4:30 in the morning. I'm not gonna wake up at 4:30 in the morning to look at any statistic. Actually, I think if a meteor hit the Earth, I still wouldn't wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So I could deselect Australia, probably New Zealand as well. And if you, I don't know, if you're, don't want to see about speeches, you see, speeches are subjective, right? Federal chair, I don't know, the head guy, the head honcho for United States FOMC committee is Jerome Powell, right? So maybe, this is not a numerical statistic, which means that there might not be the same reaction between you and somebody sitting next to you. Jerome Powell could say one thing and then you'd be like, oh my God, this is horrible. But somebody else would be like, oh, well, what else is new? It's not a big deal. It doesn't change anything, right? So this is why maybe you don't want to see that. So there we go. When you click the filters, you would see only numerical statistic and of countries that you would choose. And obviously the high impact or low impact, right? High impact, medium impact, low impact, and this would be like really low. Don't even bother looking kind of non-economic events. Yeah, something that would not really impact anybody's thoughts on this. So again, we've made I would say, holy cajola, a lot of money on this week during the events of that I just listed, right? So this week was all right. So we started on Tuesday, right? We had like ADX. We talked about ADX at the end, or one of the indicators here. All right, so retail sales, we took advantage of that. We made some money, a couple of dozens of dollars. We've took advantage on Wednesday of the federal funds rate and made like $400. We took advantage of the GBP, central bank, votes and rates. We made $700. And today we kind of, I don't know, maybe I goofed or maybe some sort of weird, market situation. But as I kept mentioning, this is medium impact event, and it's not even the biggest economy in the world. All right, so this is why, maybe it didn't do quite as, GBP CAD, quite what we were expecting. There it is. So there was a spike. Actually, it was negative, right? Because Canadian currency is the secondary, so that's why it's green. But there was a bit of a retracement. But once again, if we count the pips, 85.02, and this was 84.90. 94, so 8 pips. The 8 pips in this currency pair versus like 5 pips or 4 pips, whatever I said, was in the currency pair that we took, a AUD CAD or something like that, right? So not a big deal. All right, so let's keep going. So on Monday we got the manufacturing PMIs throughout the whole day. That's beautiful. Certainly a lot of opportunities. Now, these movements, they're not really going to be something massive, maybe 10, 15 pips. Um, Historically, statistically speaking, they're going to be noticeable, but doing the pending trades by the asset would be risky. Because if you create, 4 pip difference and one is going to be here, one is going to be here, and there's going to be a spike, but only for like 7 pips. So you'll activate one of the positions, but then right after there could be a retracement and it goes right back under. So it's much better to make money with a timer and a retracement versus pending trades, because it's, the movement, the impulse itself is not going to be something that big, but it will be noticeable enough. CPI, yes, CPI is the statistic for Canada because, it's not the smallest, economy out there. And because it's a neighboring country with United States, they do business very closely. So I think like 70% of all of the exports from Canada go south of the border to United States. So having said that, I mean, this is something that, yes, could create a 30, 40 pip movement where your 4 pip difference between the buy and the sell should still be relevant. It should still be good. All right, and what I want to mention, we got at 5 o'clock, we got Federal Chair Powell testifying. We also got on the next day, also same time, it's going to be a testify again. All right, so this is the time. This is the time where there might be a trend. And this is also the time on the first time around, right, during this speech, where he could say something that tests the market, right? So if we are trading by the concept of trend is your friend, right, this is the time where you could take a look. And if you click here, open, where is it? Is Federal Reserve. I mean, if you click here, you'll be transferred to that place, or you can even click it in YouTube. You can just say that, at 5 p.m., like 4:55 p.m. GMT plus 3 time, you can type into YouTube, Federal, or Jerome Powell testifies on today's date and time, right? Or that date and time, and you might get that live link to hear what he's saying, if it's going to be a hawkish tone or a dovish tone. This is something that that could create an opportunity for a trend to last. And if he says something about interest rates, and it doesn't matter if he says, hey, you know what, in what month we're in? We're in June, July, August. So in September, we're going to raise interest rates. Man, it doesn't matter that it's going to be in September. The volatility, the good news hits now, and there could be a spike. After a spike, there will be a retracement because people will be cashing out their profits, right? So if somebody, right, there could be banks involved in this as well, mutual funds, right? CP, right, certified. Anyways, so there's certain, big money could be dumped very quickly into the market based on what he says, and there could be a big spike, people jumping on board, and afterwards there should be a retracement, as I mentioned, just because people will be cashing out. So this is where we could take a look, even though it's not a numerical statistic. And I prefer numbers, but nevertheless, this is something that could be moving the market for even a couple of hours. So be very careful if you're doing technical analysis in the real market. Because if he says something, right, and you didn't hear about it, the technical analysis could be showing that there will be like a retracement or a movement in one direction, but it could totally go into a different direction for a long time just based on the fact that fundamental reasons are behind the wheel in the real market, right? So that's why we need to keep keep an eye out on this. Thursday, or wait a second, another thing, new home sales. See, in the United States, I would say that home is, just like maybe anywhere else in the world, really, it's the most expensive purchase, right? So I think like on East Coast, an average house is now like, for 500,000, 600,000, which is, God, it's scary to think about because in my youth, right, like 20 years ago, the idea that you could live on $1 million for the rest of your life comfortably, not lavishly, but comfortably, is kind of shocking because now, a house will be costing like 500,000 higher, 800,000 something in like on the West Coast. But anyways, so if the, new home sales are going up, it means that people are confident enough to take out mortgages, which means that they're confident enough in their salary, they're confident enough in their money that's coming in, and they're getting inside like a very big commitment, right? Because if you get paid like 100, like 60, 70, $80,000 a year, with interest, considering that you might have a car loan, you might have some personal loans, whatever, credit cards, you're not gonna, pay off that house in like, 2, 3 years, right? So you really have to be comfortable in your current financial situation to take on a big responsibility of a new house, which this is also kind of one of the things that is conveyed here. So if the statistic is kind of medium impact event, but if the numbers are shocking, right? They say that there's going to be lower 695,000 out of population of 380 plus million, right? There are 695,000 are buying new houses, right? They're projected to buy new homes. Well, if the number comes out like 400,000, yeah, you can expect an impulse. But if it comes out like at 693, or 697 or something like that, right? It's even though it's bad, worse, or good, but it's probably not even going to register like it did in Canadian retail sales today. So Thursday, kind of took a look. Unemployment claims, that's a weekly statistic. Final GDP for America, even though it's marked as a high impacts event, it's not really. See, usually GDP comes out once a quarter, but Americans are doing it kind of interesting. They've broken up into three parts: advanced, preliminary, and final. The most relevant one, the most volatile one, is the advanced, right? So next month there's going to be advanced GDP, and yes, it could impact the market. But basically, advanced GDP sets the tone for the preliminary and for the final. And usually these two, they don't really have the, I don't know, the muscle to move the market, even though it's considered a high impact event. Now, as I mentioned, wait a second. So weekly statistic, it's not as weighty as the monthly statistic, right? So released weekly. You can click here and understand that it's not really something that is going to be moving the market unless the numbers are super shocking, right? So final GDP, it's the least volatile of all of the GDPs for America on a monthly basis. And unemployment claims, it's not really something that is weighty enough by itself to move. But we also have durable goods orders and core durable goods and durable goods orders and yeah, final GDP index quarterly. So this is where cumulatively on Thursday there might be a good, if you got like a couple of minutes of free, time, yeah, do take a look at this because cumulatively there could be, if all of them are bad, yeah, there could be an impulse and, once again, take out your, go take money out on retracement and you should be good to go. Friday, there's not really a lot of things that I see. Once again, Canadian GDP. You could take a look though. Even if it happens, I wouldn't expect more than like 10, 15 pip movement. So again, something that to keep in mind for next week. All right. So all right, Andy. All right, we got Krishna. Got it, my man. All right. Coming back to the concept that I think I mentioned right before the retail sales for Canada. If you got a chance to do it one time, right, 100, percent success rate, but one time per month, would you even trade the other times, right? The other time, I would probably not. I think I would sell my house, my cars, my apartments, and I would invest in all that into one time, cash out, and then buy all of that things back, and then I would, get to keep that, extra money, and I would invest it the following month, and I would build it, compound it every single month. So technical analysis always has that, especially in the OTC, it always has that chance that no matter how certain your signals are, that the market will do something goofy. Chances of that happening are a little bit less in fundamental analysis. So there are much fewer positions to be open. Maybe throughout the month, you'll open like 20 positions. But what if, I don't know, 15 or 17 of them are in the money? I see, statistically speaking, Martingale's, wise speaking, this is still a phenomenal statistic. All right, we're talking about much bigger than 50-50, which you need in technical analysis with proper money management to be winning, right? Just a little higher than 50% to make it a little bit better. But even with lower than 50% stats, you're still able to, success rate, you're still able to make money. All right. Um, Krishna writes, okay, I've never seen anyone discussing in detail on these thanks for, appreciate it, buddy. Big events alone is enough to become profitable in binary options. No need to trade for hours. Exactly, Krishna. If you were around here, I would probably give you a bear hug because that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So there needs to be this balance. There needs to be this balance between understanding when your statistics have higher chance, right? Maybe you understand that, hey, in like an hour, there's going to be a big event that I'm going to take advantage of, right? But you could trade a couple of trades before that, and you know what? If you lose that third step martingale or fourth step martingale, whatever, you could make back all of that money and with a higher probability for success based on fundamental analysis, because when there is an impulse, somebody is buying, but they're buying for a specific purpose to sell at a profit. So once they're buying, and there's an impulse, whether it's up or down, doesn't matter. At some point, they're going to close their position, right? They're going to say, oh, I made 100% profit. Good for me. Close the position. That's a sell, and of course, there's going to be there's going to be an impact on the supply and demand principles, and there's going to be a retracement. So we understand that, and that's why maybe next month we're going to do statistical I don't know, accountability with all of the macro events that we've done. Maybe I'll ask my team to do this, to go back through the videos and do that this month, but we'll see. If not this month, we'll do it next month, and we'll see how many times you and I live have made money on, and what kind of money we've made based on these events, on the monthly basis, versus maybe what all of the technical analysis that we do, technical trading, which I usually take lesser positions. You see, the reason why we won $700 yesterday, because I understood that there, it's statistically, historically speaking, yes, there should be a big spike followed by a retracement. I opened for 100, I opened for 200, I opened for 600. The 200 and 600 based on the retracement, I don't know what kind of retracement will be, whether it's a 20%, 30 or 40, or maybe even, over 100. But I understand that there's going to be a retracement. So even if I lost 600, I would have waited just a little bit longer to see if the retracement would start the following minute, and guess what? I would have opened for 1,800, and I still would have made money, right? But, at that point, it spiked, opened for a retracement, it spiked up higher, opened another for 200, spiked up higher, opened another for 600, but it retraced where the two positions were in the money. So, NFP, CPIs, and NFP is employment statistics. So I showed you, right? I showed you that this week we actually had a lot of them, right? Wait, where is it? Look, we had there we go. We had Bank of Japan release their interest rates on, but Bank of JPY, it's a government, it's limited on the government level to show massive volatility. So it doesn't, it's a safe haven asset because it doesn't, shoots up or down very aggressively. So, but we gotta look. Here it's called policy rate. All right. For America, it's called federal funds rate. For British, it's called official bank rate. All right. So these are loan prime rates. All right. So for different countries, the same statistic could be under different names. But NFP, it's an employment statistic. Right. It's non-farm payroll. How many people are getting paid with their new jobs, basically. It's kind of like new home sales, but this one is like new jobs. So in comparison to how many new jobs were in the previous month. So that's what it measures. Excluding the farming industry because it's a seasonal work. But NFP is the most popular macro statistic. It's an employment statistic from the biggest economy in the world, the Americans. Right? Afterwards, CPI. CPI, it's a consumer price index. How consumers are free to spend money, and that, it impacts the economy. First, it raises inflation, and then it raises interest rates. So that's a good thing for the currency. There is expansion of the economy where other people would want to invest into an expanding economy. But then, even if the interest rates are raised and the economy slows down its growth, other investors would still be investing into the currency because, well, in their banks, right, you got like 5% interest in America, and you got like 3% interest in Europe. Of course, you're going to be motivated to sell the euro and buy the dollar, right? And that's essentially what strengthens the currency. And also has different kind of benefits with the GDP, for example, different exchange rate. If the currency is very strong, right, it's very expensive, supply and demand principles, then during the exchange, Americans are benefiting because they're able to send out more goods for the same amount of, for a lower, value, in dollars. But we'll talk about that at some point, maybe again in the future. So, employment statistics, consumer statistics, right? CPIs, and it's relevant really for what country. Maybe the interest rate decision, it doesn't matter what names they're used, but this is something that on the on the monthly basis, could give you a massive, massive advantage in your profitability. All right. I don't know. Well, I think I said everything that I've said here, that I wanted to say. All right. We didn't do a lot of, let's do a little bit of trading. Okay. As usually, right? What we'll do is I'll take some OTCs because I don't want to be trading with 63%. Though, actually, wait a second. With 63%, I mean, why is it so low? Maybe it's because there is almost a sure thing. But I don't know. I mean, support and resistance levels here, or from what I see, not really something that uh, shows anything conclusive, right? I don't know. We could say something like, no, not really. Even if there was a resistance level, there seems to be a buy signal right now from Schaff and parabolic. Yeah, super trend is going sideways, but I don't really see anything that we would want to take advantage of. 1530 though, there we go. Canadian statistic. That was bad Canadian statistic. You see, because it deals with the United States, maybe they're not sending as much goods. I mean, if we take a look at all of the statistics this week for United States, right, we got retail sales, red. We got CPI previous week, red. We got NFP, it was better than forecast, but worse than previous month, right? So this was still a positive statistic, but it was worse than the previous month. So we got to keep that in mind. Unemployment rate is the same. Didn't really change. And I don't know. Maybe there is. Wait a second. We got United States statistic. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. Actually, I don't think I've ever even traded this. But once again, if we go back right now, yeah, at 1530, there it is. Right. If United States statistic was bad, there it is, or there it is right here, right? And by relatively big margin, though it's exactly the same as last month. Yeah, that means that there would be a good, good impulse, and that's where it happened, right? A couple of minutes later, right? So if this is, oh no, 1530, right? So it actually was over here somewhere. There was a bit of indecision, but yeah, bigger movement followed by retracement. It actually seems like in Canada, it did the same thing. That reaction to the news was like 2 minutes later, right? Where was this? GBP 15? Well, yeah, not GBP CAD, because I think that, let's try again with another currency. CAD JPY perhaps? There it is, right? So here it was released on this candle, right? There we go. It spiked up a little bit for some reason, like it was a good news, but it seemed like 2 minutes later, that's when it finally hit everybody that it's a crappy statistic. So there was a spike and a retracement. So unusual kind of reaction. Usually it's on the same minute, right down to the second, but here it seemed like it was like 2 minutes delayed. Unless I'm like in the future or something. Maybe the Matrix is broken, baby. All right. So that's why I usually prefer euro dollar with tech OTC, because here technical analysis is a little bit more relevant. All right, so let's delete the previous ones. Let's take a look if we got what do we got here? Do we have anything of interest? We got kind of the asset right now. Euro dollar seems like it's showing a lot of candles with big wicks, right? Bigger wicks than bodies. So that kind of usually makes me a little bit nervous. And what we need to remember is that markets usually fall asleep on Fridays because people are planning their, I don't know, weekends to do something nice with their family. So that's why, maybe in the real market, that's why it might lack a bit of volatility. But you guys, you and I, we're in this together. Let's start maybe, you know what? I'm going to start with $5 today. We got a crossing of the zero line, but if there's a sell signal was here from Schaff, we got parabolic and fractal. We might consider this kind of like as a breakout, but let's wait until the end of the candle. I don't know, this is actually, kind of confusing. Remember yesterday I said really important thing. Most people are trying to find like 1, 2, 3 reasons to open a position. But I know some very successful traders from the past that if they find one reason not to open a position, they would prefer to wait. Right? So you might not really be looking, whoa, oh, yeah, yes, open. Right? But there might be yes, but then it was like, no. Right? So then at that point, we've got kind of conflicting, points right here. This is not really what we want from accelerator oscillator. We want this, big butterflies right here. The fact is that they're not aligning. Schaff said sell here, though fractal on this candle said buy. Then parabolic said sell, though super trend was still maybe kind of flat. There seems to be kind of like sawing at this particular level, though maybe if we take a look at 3-minute, intervals, we'll see something different. Well, short term, this kind of makes sense, but it seems like it's breaking out. Though the sell signal was here from Schaff on the 3-minute for like a 6-minute expiration. Nah, no, I'm not feeling this. Alright, let's take a look at other ones. Maybe we can find something together that's a little bit better. Alright, so there we go. Alright, Euro, TRY, right? Turkish. Okay, so let's see. Alright, we do have a relatively decent support level here. Alright, look at that. Alright, is it kind of matching? No, not really, right? We got 1, we got 2. We could say, kind of stretch the truth a little bit, that this is 3. But it seemed like it broke through, but it's coming back in, and it's 3-minute candles. There we go. Wait a second. Let's go back to 1 minute. Yeah, I would say that there was a kind of moment right here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Broke through. There's your breakout strategy. And see, this is where all of the signals are matching. Right, we got parabolic SAR. See, and I always say that fractal usually is like an early indication. So on this candle right here, somewhere here, fractal showed up. And look, at the same, on the next candle, we got the zero crossing, right? We got bars that are diminishing. We got the crossing of the zero line. And at that point, this candle closed outside, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it touched and it closed outside. At the exact moment we had a parabolic switch, we got shaft showing. Yeah, hell yeah, that was a good moment to consider a open, a sell position. But as you can see, we would have made money here. Here we would have made money, but here we already would have started to lose. And the second step martingale, third step martingale, you know what, I think I would have stopped. But on the fourth step martingale, I would have been in the money. But as I mentioned, I think I would have stopped because here I would have gotten, with the first green bar. On the following one, I got the one that's lowering, once again showing the cross, right? And at, somewhere here, with shaft rounding out, here it actually touched parabolic fractal, once again showed, showed their intention to go up, and at this point I would have started buying instead of selling. But yeah, I mean, let's take a look. What else we can say from this asset? More to the point right now. We got a relatively decent resistance level, and let's see if we got something similar with the regards to, well, sort of. I mean, as I mentioned, this is kind of stretching the truth a little bit, because if we are opening, if we're setting the level according to the body of the candle, it doesn't make really a lot of sense to consider a wick. But in this case, we do have a channel that's going upwards. We got a crossing right now. We got buy and parabolic. And you know what? We could probably do it till the end of the minute. That's what I'm going to do. 1 second. And there we go. And let's open and see till the end of the minute. We got a crossing. We got shaft saying. We got super trend. We got parabolic. We actually here on this candle we had fractal, which is a little bit sooner. Right, it's kind of like it's like an alarm system that, hey, something's going to be happening right now. We might take a look. And we do have a breakout strategy, 1, 2, 3. And on the fourth one, it seems to be breaking. So we could ride this particular move upwards for a bit. But let's be aware, where is the next level of interest, right? So we do have kind of like here, this level, this is where it bounced off of. But I guess, here it bounced away as a support level. So if it breaches, it should breach, maybe a little bit higher. Where else is it going to go? I would say somewhere here, right? If it's going to go up, it's going to go up to there. So let's open another buy position, and let's keep an eye out. Let's actually set this up. See, I think that here would be the next, comfortable level of, or a level where it might start resisting. So let's just keep with it for now, right? Super trend is pointing into a direction. Parabolic is still showing up. We got a breakout strategy, but do also understand that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibly 7 green candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was a retracement. Right, 1, 2. All right, so I guess you guys understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a retracement. So this would be a point where yes, it could be that point where it's going to retrace and pull back based on the previous levels of resistance, right? So, all right, I didn't lose and I didn't make money, right? It turned yellow, which means that I'm still in, I'm still in profit from the previous trade. All right, so we got, we got the red bar, and shaft has already crossed that line, so it could actually start to retrace right now and go back under. So let's see what it does. All right, it seems like it's, continuing to go up. I don't know, let's wait. I really would think that after such a big aggressive move that there could be a bit of a retracement. Seems like the candles are not really certain, right? Another indicator that we can take a look at is ATR. Yeah, the volatility is dropping. It's not as low as it is here with these kind of candles, really small ones, but it's also not at its peak. So let's wait maybe another minute to open another candle, because I mean this kind of breakout could have been like a false breakout if we take a look on the 3-minute candle intervals. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, 9 minutes was going up, so it's time that there should be a bit of a retracement, and it's exactly what we're seeing. But it doesn't mean that it's going to stop. It should continue to go down. However, please do note that this was a buy signal, and it's been going up for a while. It's been going up actually from about 1500, right? So from 3 o'clock, and right now being 1612, right? So from 3 o'clock it's been going upwards for relatively decent time, which means that there could be that moment where there should be a decent downward movement. But once again, let's look at this and keep an eye out together. So there we go. Bars are finally getting lower. So we could be expecting, as I mentioned, kind of going back under. So let's see. Once again, we're looking for what the market is showing. One moment. Again, we're being hit by spam. And let me just go to my team. There we go, letting them know about it. Again, if you guys are, joining right now, we're doing a little bit of live trading. If you, based on technical analysis, if you take a look at pocket option platform right now, you'll see that this graph is live, and so it's not pre-recorded. It's very important to me for you guys to understand that we don't pick and choose the good stuff. We show you everything. We show you the real stuff. All right, so click on Pocket Option. This is a great platform that offers amazing flexibility in your trading. What I'm doing right now, I'm trading based on the flag, where it's kind of like a setting where I'm able to tailor any expiration that I want within like 4-hour period. So right towards the end of the minute, right, or the following. So we're still waiting though right now to see maybe in the next candle or two to see if it's going to go down, right? So the bars are getting smaller, though the super trend and parabolic SAR and no fractal yet, they're still showing up. So it could be doing something like this, boom, 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 and then come back up, right? But it's yet to be seen. We need to, we need to kind of give it a little bit of time. So there was actually rounding out of shaft right here, saying that, oh, yeah, it should be going down lower, but, it started to go up again. So fractal says up. So at the end of this minute, we really would be able to see, to see more. All right, while we're waiting, though, let's take a look if maybe we're missing something even better. There is a decent support, long-term resistance level here, this kind of going up, and we got I would say almost like a level right there. So a resistance rising, support is almost level. For quite a long time though. 1, 2. Let's see if we can set something up here. All right. There we go. All right, so is this, I mean, we can't really, as I mentioned, we would really be stretching the truth if we would say that this is the 1 point contact and kind of went up and like this is a 2nd-point contact. So far, this is a 2 point contact here and a possible 3 point contact here happening in just a bit. All right, hopping back, there is a crossing here. Though there is a breakout from our previous level of interest, I see conflicting signals. Super trend and parabolic are saying, and fractal say buy, though we do have a zero crossing from accelerator, oscillator, and shaft is still saying that it's still upward trend, but it could, reverse any moment. So I'm going to wait on this. Let's take a look what we got here. So for now, there we go. We got a zero crossing. We got parabolic that just switched. Super trend is going flat here. So let's see. I'm thinking that it might, kind of touch the second, third time. And at that point, it should be a little bit more clear what we can do with this. All right. So seems like pocket option traders and CAD JPY OTC are pushing this down. Though, you know what? And this is something right here that also makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Usually, I like something. There we go. I like something like this. Shoo, shoo, shoo. It goes really kind of hits these tops, but when it starts to within the range to reverse, it kind of means there's not really clear indication of what the hell is going on. There we go. It's touching for the third time. If it bounces back, we're going to have a very good, confirmed level of resistance. But it seems like, all right, there might be a false breakout. If the next candle goes under, right, and I think that maybe, there we go. If the second candle goes under, then that's a false breakout, but it seems like it's intent on going upward still. There we go. Shaft is showing up, but we got we got a red bar. All right, so who do you trust? Who do you call? The Ghostbusters, right? So at 15:30, when we started trading, when we started the stream, it was a massive, massive movement upwards because there was a very fast movement downward. But right now, it seems like it's sawing at a particular level, and this is something that's going to be more evident with with a bigger time interval. See, this resistance level is still very attractive in our understanding. There we go. Right, so 1, 2, and it did reach it, right, at 1 point here. 3 with the smaller time intervals, and there seems like there's consolidation. So with 3 minutes, we got kind of weird, right, signals here as well. There was a rounding of shaft, there was a crossing of zero, there was a fractal and parabolic that's still saying downward, though when we click on 1 minute candles, we got everything the opposite. We got a zero crossing up. We got a shaft rounding out up. We got parabolic up. But it seems like it's going downward. Though with super trend, it's still, for a sell. So still mixed signals. Though, as I mentioned, there we go. This is a false breakout, right? With 1 minute candles, I said that if it's going to close under, it kind of means that we now do have a confirmed level of resistance, and that makes it especially interesting because if it comes back up and breaks through this again, at that point we have a higher likelihood that it's going to continue to go up. If it's gonna break, then the next point of interest will be around this long-term upward, right? So here it started, then it went new higher high, new higher high, new higher high, And so if it's going to continue, it should be continuing up to this point right here, somewhere before we understand that if it's going to bounce back or break and continue to go even further. 1, 2, here we go for a third point contact perhaps. So this becomes actually quite interesting. If this actually, kind of closes next 9 seconds anywhere closer to this, we would be able to, kind of adjust it a little bit to understand that, somewhere here. So third point contact would be even better in our, situation if it bounces back and continue to go upwards. And then at that point, we'll have double confirmed levels of resistance and support. And at that point, we would see that when it pops, when it goes in one or the other, but it does look like it's going to go down though. So if it breaks through on the third, this is not a level of confirmed level of support, but it does look like we're, and you know what, let's try to take advantage of it right now. Let's see if we can. All right, open next position is for $10. Let's go for the following minute. Let's see what's going on. So let's see if the asset gives us a little bit more information. 1. As I said, I really wouldn't want to say that this is 2 and this is 3. This is still kind of a 1. This is kind of a 2. This is, okay, going for the next, for a sell. And I opened it a little bit late, man. I should have opened it right at the top. But let's say, once again, let's take a look. We got 2 signals. We got crossing of the 0 line. We got parabolic. And that's it. And a test of the third level. Actually, this would be, there we go. And you know what? I'm still not disappointed. I'm still not, kind of scared of this. So wait a second. If I lost 5 and I lost 10, 15, let's go to 30. Because if it goes up a little bit and then comes back down, then we do have our 1, 2, and a third point contact. So I'd love it if it continues to go up a little bit higher. And the leading indicators are actually a little bit confusing at this point versus lagging indicators that could be, come on, go green, go green, go green. And it's actually really bad when you start talking to the graph. But that's okay. Let's get on to the following minute and still once again see what the asset will do. So once in a while it is a waiting game. And sometimes it doesn't really make a lot of sense based on technical analysis that I keep saying that right now we do have kind of like mixed signals, and it would be better if it went upwards. But there could be, right, there is indecision based. Look at the wicks of the previous 3 candles, right? So the tug of war between the bulls and the bears right now is actually quite massive. So in the 16 seconds, again, we're going to have, if it closes where it is right now, we're going to have, again, a candle that's more wick than body. All right, so again, we're going to wait. We're going to wait until the following expiration, right, to see what's going to be going, what's going to be happening. So we could be adjusting this just a little bit. It's not an exact science. So this is still a third point contact that is not really disproven or established. So what I would want maybe also to start thinking about doing is this, a possible level of resistance if it breaks on the low side and goes. See, we still got parabolic that says down. We got super trend though that says flat. So it's still kind of going nowhere, not really up, not really down. So I'm waiting for shaft to, round out, and it does seem like we got a green bar here, based on these formulas and tech, on these indicators, that it still should be bullish dominant. It should be still going upwards. So there we go. The signals are still saying up, but we're kind of, getting lower and lower and lower. So there we go. Super trend is now pointing down. Again, kind of showing the bearish dominance. And so it feels like somebody's watching the stream right now in pocket auction, and all of the traders are deciding to go against what makes sense. This is a joke. Of course, this is not true. So this is why we always do proper money management and cautious approach in trading. All right, what do we got here? We had a breakout. We got a continuing going downward. We're still kind of following. This is somewhat established level of support. This is, I don't think that this is no longer any valid level of resistance because it was broken through several times. So maybe we're looking at something like this now. So first point contact, possible second. Actually, yeah, while we were with CAD JPY, there was a relatively decent sell signal here based on parabolic, based on shaft, based on crossing of the zero line, but we're still, wow, look at that. Yeah, we're still here. And see, bars, the green bars are getting smaller, once again, hinting at an upward movement. Breakout, I wouldn't call this a breakout. I don't know. Not really feeling this right now. We lost a little bit of money here. Okay, all right. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can make good on this. All right, so possibly a boom boom, but it's been broken through. We got a kind of like this, maybe a level of support. Everything is pointing up. We got a buy signal here, but once again, look at the accelerator oscillator. Not ideal situation. And let's take a look at slightly bigger time intervals because if it's going to continue to go up, how much further? How much further can it go? You know, somewhere here, we had relative, levels of resistance here. We got it here. So it could go up maybe just slightly higher. And in 3-minute intervals, we do have kind of like a bullish momentum. Super trend is showing up. We got a parabolic showing up. We got zero line crossing showing up. But this is 3 minutes, so this was for 6 minutes so far. All right, so 6 minutes so far has been going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe a little bit more. All right, so somewhere from here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. It's testing the new highs. Okay, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I open this position upwards, or is there going to be a retracement? Pip movement wise, I'll wait for a retracement. And I'll justify it this way. Look, once again, you know, if we take a pip value right here, 65.29, 65.75, it's almost 50 pips right here from here to here. That's almost 50 pips. That's and that happened in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 minutes. Very aggressive, very fast. Versus, you know, kind of like going back and forth, you know, between 15, 20, 30 pips right here. This was 50 pip movement that was very fast. And at that point, I am expecting there to be a retracement. So it seems like it opened here. It's, went up to this point, but then it came back down. So, I don't know. Let's watch. Let's continue to kind of stay with it. It does seem like, there we go. We got a first red bar from accelerator oscillator. Shaft might be rounding out right now, right? It's so far it's still going sideways, but we'll see. So we'll see. Just need to wait a little bit more. While we're waiting, though, let's see if we got anything else popping. Yes, we do. With this resistance level, I would say something like this. And we got a resistance level that's meeting an optimistic slight inclined bullish. So also in a couple of minutes there should be either a pop, going down, or on the top side. All right, AUDCHF also. Wow, look at that. That's actually really nice. All right, and this is what we do during technical analysis. We look at some support and resistance levels. Yeah, I would expect that this negative movement is not something that's going to last for long. That there should be, and yeah, it established a new, the lowest low, so at some point it should be going back up. Alright, let's go back to our... Alright, here I was saying that there should be a bit of a retracement. It seems like it's going to be cutting this level for a little bit. Okay, there we go. Here we got 1, we got 2, we got possible third point contact, but there's a green bar. The shaft could be rounding out, and parabolic is really close to the asset. So I'm actually expecting that if it goes up in the next couple of, in like next minute, parabolic is going to switch under, and everything else is going to give us a confirming signal that there should be an upward movement. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, we got a first green bar. We got fractal as an early signal. Remember, I always say that fractal is kind of like an early signal. It's kind of like an alarm clock for us to be extra vigilant. Alright, so what do we got here? Another minute. Okay, let's see if it's going to test it. But I really like what I'm seeing here. So let's kind of watch what's going on. So fractal could disappear. If this candle goes down any further, fractal will... There we go. It disappeared. So we need to wait a little bit longer. That's all. I need to be patient just a bit more. Alright, so at the end of 19 seconds, we'll see the next bar. If it's going to be red, once again, we need to wait. If it's going to be green and smaller, I mean, once again, it's pointing us that there should be a reversal coming up soon. Alright, what do we got with AUD and ZD? Because we still got, we lost a few positions today. Alright, so, wow, okay, definitely confusing signals. 2 fractals at the same time that are showing God knows what. Alright, we have a small kind of creeping towards the 0 line. So it really depends upon the clients that are buying and selling AUD and ZD right now. So next candle in 37 seconds or so, it should show us a little bit more. Here we got some good news, right? We got the next green bar that's a little bit slower. So in about 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 candles, it should reach the level of resistance, and we could puncture through it finally. So in 16 seconds or so, we're going to see the result. Alright, and it seems like, wait, we need to be on the up and up with the time. Alright, there we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. We still don't got nothing here. We have nothing conclusive. Seems like it's going to be testing this period. If we take a look at ATR, yeah, volatility is dirt. Alright, so I don't even want to bother here for now, but there we go. We got a buy. Let's go next minute, and let's go buy. Alright, so we got a buy from Fractal. There we go. On this one, it kind of came out. We got a parabolic switching. And we, as I mentioned, the reason why I took it a little bit sooner than later, because it's been going down very aggressively for a long time. And I do expect that it should be, coming up to maybe up to here first. Before starting to face resistance in that upward movement. The question will be whether it's going to do on the first candle. If it reaches here right on this candle, it's not really going to be good because at that point it's going to go boom and retrace. This move right here is very already seems to be aggressive because look, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then it took 2 minutes to come almost back up to it. So yeah, but I still think that we could go for the following minute and start with the first step martingale, because I still think that it's going to go up a bit more, at least up to here somewhere. Right, so but that's my prediction. It's not something that's guaranteed. That's why again, you see it's like sawing at this level. But just because the signal switch would just happened, it makes me think that yeah, and the breakout strategy of a long downward trend, it makes me very optimistic about the upward movement. So I will still go for a second step martingale for the following candle if all of a sudden this goes back down and closes in the loss. So we'll see. 5, 4, there we go. All right, so this is where I would wait. Right, it did touch this level right here. All right, did I win? Yeah. All right, see, it was like bare skin of it. I don't know, I think I won pretty good because I opened it right in the beginning, right? So now I would expect it to retrace a little bit, but I still think that it's, bullish dominant, right, for the following, wait a second. Yeah, for this till the end of this 40 seconds. I mean, we could try to open another position, but as I mentioned, this is where it needs to kind of break this. It needs to go above this, and at that point, I would expect somewhere here to be the next level of interest. So let's go to the second position, second step martingale, and let's see what's let's see what the asset tells us. See, Shaft is already at the time, at the point where it could start showing us, it could start actually do a reversal, and it would be a valid signal from Shaft that there is, a retracement. There we go. We got Fractal saying an early signal from Fractal saying that there should be a retracement, and there it is. There it is, right? So, I mean, these are the kind of things. I mean, I've been doing this with you guys for the past couple of weeks, where we showed this in action, and I don't know. Wait, did we make money today at all? Let's see. I think I lost 20. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, it seems like we made money, right? There we go. We lost $1, but we've made 20. So we've made 460. We lost 5. We lost. I don't know why we lost 5. Oh no, we didn't lose anything. This was at the same quote. See, is 6004, 6004, 41. Yeah, so we didn't lose any money here this way. Opened here for 10, 5, 10 on the 30. We made money, so we made a few, a couple of bucks here today. So about what, 14, 18, 18 minus 30, 10, 15, 25, 30. All right, we made like 40 bucks in 1 hour, right? So it might not seem like a lot if you're doing this as the only thing to live on, but believe me, if you had like $100 balance, and actually this would have been way too aggressive trading if we've done this with $100 balance, because usually it's $1.5 for first and second step martingale. But nevertheless, if you guys want to do this one-on-one with me, Telegram channel is below. Reach out. Donald and Henry have been doing this for a while with me. We're all making money, and at the end of the month, the sum is actually quite impressive. Not as the point where all of our questions are answered, but this month it will not be. But the following month it'll be even more impressive. The following one is going to be even more impressive. I have tables that I can show you, and I've done that in some of my videos in the past. You can take a look at them. But this is something that's going to be available to you. I mean, the impressive growth, the compounding of your balance is something that's actually staggering when you do it right. And this is when 5, 10%, $1,000 balance will turn into 17,500 with 10% per day. Right, 10% of your balance growth. So 1,000 is going to be 1,100 on the first day. 1,000 is going to be 1,225 on the second day. But by the end of the month, it will become $17,500 balance. So $16,500 worth of profit if you aim for 10%. What is 10%? That's 10 positions starting with 1% of your balance with martingale. Right, so our job is to find the trend, right, and or you wait for the signals to kind of align, maybe however you see this, and whether you sit in front of a computer for 15 minutes or 20 minutes to get this, or you sit in front of a computer for a couple of hours to get this, it's still going to be your choice. But if you want to talk to me about this in a greater extent, please reach out. Telegram channel, pocket option link. Once again, these are not pre-recorded. I'm doing it live with you every single weekday. So having said that, my dear friends, I'll see you on Monday with the manufacturing and services PMIs, where we're going to have multiple opportunities to take advantage of the retracement that should be prominent, noticeable with the French, German, and then European, but British, PMIs, and then you'll be able to take advantage of the USD by yourself later. So I'll see you all guys on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.